Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Elephant Exposed. I am your host, CJ Jones, and I have my co-host with me, Mr. Duane Stinson. How you doing, sir?
Oh, blessed and highly favored, my brother.
All right, all right. Very good, very good. This is another day that the Lord has made.
Yes. We will rejoice and be glad in it. We done taken the church already.
And everybody say, Amen.
Pass the plate around. Pass the plate around.
Pass the plate. All right, so check it out, man. So speaking of pass the plate, for our audience in there, we would just like, first of all, I want to start out by saying thank you, and thank you so much for such of a big response that we got from our last show that we had just put out. It was my fault that the responses that we received on our last show did not air on YouTube, but we got lots and lots of responses and diverse responses, and that's what we've been asking for, and we really appreciate it. But those responses happen on Facebook. So this time I want to try to funnel these responses on YouTube. So that'll be the goal from this point on. But we live and we learn. I've only been doing this for about 1.5 years now. We still working out things, but that's all good, right? Because that's the whole process of learning and everything and seeing where we fit. So here's the thing, guys. My brother, you shared a few choice pictures with me. And I'm gonna go ahead and bring them up. And if you, as we bring them up, I'm gonna try to control the show, if you will, for lack of a better phrase. And let's just get into it, man, because these were some interesting pictures. I would say. I had mixed emotions about it, honestly. And we just want to see how our audience feel. Some of these pictures I do know were already do we see this?
Right.
Okay. So this first picture here came up after you see the two couples at the bottom, the black couples at the bottom. Well, the top picture actually came as let me see if we can bring everybody in here. Okay. Let me change my view because I want to bring you in here as well. Let's see. I'm gonna try to I think I'm gonna have to escape it, but you know what? Go ahead, my brother. Let our people know what was on your mind when you first saw the black couple, and just talk to the audience a little bit. Let's share what was happening in your mind.
Well, when I see it like this, it brings up a mixed response. But when I first saw it, I was thinking, I was like, wow, this is I was angry at the fact that parents would sort of allow this and sort of promote this, because I know the parents were there. I know there's probably plenty of people in the background taking pictures, and how the prom is a big deal, especially from the one young man. He was actually pointing the gun at the cameraman.
Yeah.
And I think it's because I'm looking at it as just
You talking about this one here?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
looking at it as glorifying. See, I'm looking at it as glorifying, you know, gangster type lifestyle, thug lifestyle. I'm not against us raising our kids to have gun safety and gun awareness. And I'm definitely for the Second Amendment. I'm definitely for us raising our kids with guns and knowing how to use guns and knowing how to protect themselves.
Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
it just, to me, and you know, maybe I jumped the gun because of the hair, you know, because of the hair was sort of, you know,
Mm-hmm.
the Florida dreads and everything.
Right.
But when I see the one that you just did, and it could, you know what, maybe, okay, what did you feel about the way that the way they had the white girls up top and said, if this doesn't make you angry, this
Mm-hmm.
doesn't make you angry? How did you
Yeah.
feel about it?
Yeah. Definitely. Well, actually, I felt the same sentiment. Honestly, I did, and I am going to bring it back. I have it up in two different areas, so I apologize for my poor assistant in the background. I'm my own assistant, so my staff is kind of cutting up today. But it's okay, man. The show will go on. But yeah, I mean, I'm just like you, man. I shared the same sentiment, and it's just simply because I mean, let's just break it down, bro. I'm tired of feeling like we are spinning our wheels in the mud when it comes to the perception of my people.
Mm-hmm.
And really that's just all what it boils down to. Um we are older and a little bit more experienced. And yes, okay. So from a more, I would say from a broader mind point of view, and this was brought to my attention because you and I was kind of like I said, we were sharing the same thought patterns and stuff like this, and we were just like, oh man, like our youth, man, like they gone, bro. Like, how do you
Mm-hmm.
not know? Things like that. And then so speaking with different other people that saw the same picture, and they was like, well, I really wouldn't go that strong. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, why not? I got real defensive. And
Mm-hmm.
so they were saying, you know, young people gonna do young stuff, ill-informed things. And keep in mind, CJ, you came up very well instructed.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody didn't have your upbringing.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody did not have parents that literally gave them almost a step-by-step instruction in how to handle like everyday life things. Like, and I'm to let my audience know a little bit about my background. Um, what my household background. My mother was a very devout Christian in the church. Birth my mom and my dad, both very devout Christian people. My mother, she did both. She took care of the home and everything. And my dad, he uh, he was like an outdoorsman type person, like a real, like I said, like a man's man, alpha male. He was a
Mm-hmm.
mechanic, he was a truck driver. He was a jack of all trades. If it came to working with his hands and different things like that, he did that. Um, and it was almost, like I said, it was almost like, um, and I didn't realize that any other houses, I was under the assumption that everybody house was pretty much like mine.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody had a role and a job to do because
Mm-hmm.
that was my household. So with that being said, my mother, she was, more attentive to the girls. I have two older sisters, and dad took care of me and my brother. And so, everybody was under instruction and everybody learned different things. Now, that does not go to say that my mother did not teach me, things like how to cook, clean, stuff like that and everything. So I would say I came up very blessed. I came up very well rounded.
Mhm.
And with that being said, I can also say the same thing like with my education and my life experiences in it. So I do sometimes tend to go a little hard or in the paint when it comes to just looking at society and being like, wow, like y'all really don't have a clue as to what's going on.
Mhm.
So when I saw this picture, that was like that was my reaction. And so from another viewer's point, they were like, they just young, they just having fun.
Mhm.
But the whole thing about it is, and please chime in, um, when we're living in a type of society to where we're already behind,
Mhm.
in a sense, we almost don't have time and room to play.
Mhm.
So what do you think about that?
Hey, I was thinking about that just the other day. I was just thinking about how, just here in Charlotte, how the cost of living is rising, the cost of gas is rising, the cost of everything is rising.
Hmm.
And it seemed like back in the day, you had those people, those knuckleheads that just wasn't about nothing. They sell a little dope, or they might sleep all day and wake up and piddle around. But it's like nowadays,
Hmm.
it's like we don't, like you said, we don't have time to waste. You got to get some money out here. You got to get some hustle about yourself.
Yeah.
And you know what I'm saying? And on a side note, I'm not sure if this is true or not, but I saw a post that said that that young girl had a scholarship somewhere. The one with the purple on. Did you see
Got
that?
you. Yes, yes, I
Yeah.
did see that
And they
shortly
said,
after. You're right.
right. They said she lost her scholarship, which I don't think she should have lost a scholarship for
I
taking
couldn't
pictures.
fact check that. Um,
Yeah.
that was debatable because
Right.
some people saying that she did, and then other people came back like, nah, that was a bunch of bull.
Yeah.
But to go that hard,
Yeah. I don't think
no.
that's, yeah.
But go back, but let's go back to that one. Well, I can go back as a visual as we can talk about it
You
and
talking about the
just
one with the one on
be
top and the one on bottom?
yeah. I'm gonna go back to that because I mean, honestly, I mean that was a good point of view. Um, let's see, there it is. Let me see if we can bring everybody in here now. Boom.
See,
Okay.
I'm just gonna be real, and I might catch some flack from this.
Yeah.
But the little white girls up top look like they're just holding guns. Like, I know how to shoot a gun, or my dad showed me how to shoot a gun, or I'm just representing the Second Amendment rights.
Uh-huh.
But below, and it could be just a percep. We could be falling victim to the perception that America is feeding us, because on the bottom, I just see it just seemed like they being sort of like promoting gang or thugged out behavior, or what I'm saying, just sort of being ratchet, what I'm saying. And
Right.
I mean, I could be
I
wrong for
I
that.
I can see
Just the
that. Okay. Well, let's break it down. Let's see. Okay. Well, and I agree with you. Like even the way that these white girls are literally handling the guns themselves,
mm-hmm,
you can tell it was some sort of training and guidance in it. Everyone's gun is held as what we call like at the almost like at a 45. Their
mm-hmm,
hands, their upper hand. Okay, this
mm-hmm,
is called the support hand. The
mm-hmm,
support hand is clearly holding the gun where you would hold a support. Like even if you was to go down and point the gun uh like down range, so to speak. Then
mm-hmm,
the trigger hand or the strong hand, I can't tell by the banner, but the young lady to the far right in the black, the blue and in the red. Okay, well, you can't see the one in the pink. Everyone's hand is off and away and out of the trigger guard. So that tells me that they are trained, that this is, it's nothing new. And I guarantee you that prom dresses and hair done and everything else, these young women know what they're doing and they know how to shoot. Now, at the bottom, yet again, and I can go to the pictures that's more individualized, but these the way that the I'm gonna say the purple couple, the couple in the purple, and mind you, like everybody's beautiful and doing their prom thing, so let's get that off the bat. We ain't mad at that. But what's, I would say, the disappointing view in this is like you said, I agree with you on the perception of lack in knowledge of the training of handling these firearms. So what do we see? Well, the first thing I see is treat, never, keep. All right. So you treat every weapon as if it were loaded. Exactly. As you can see, the upper, the young white ladies up top, they are treating these weapons like they're loaded. Exactly. Okay. You don't point at anything you don't intend to shoot. As you can see, this young man in the purple, he's pointing the gun almost what we would perceive directly at the person that's taking the picture. Okay.
And the dude in the pink is nonchalantly, holding that weapon. I mean,
right. Now that would be what I would call like a mid-sized weapon, right? It's still a two-handed weapon. Right. So even though his finger, at least it appears that his finger's out of the trigger guard, like he has like no due regard as to where that weapon is actually pointing. And his young lady beside him in the pink, that's the safest direction that you would want it if you're going to have the weapon like down. So that's a good thing. But then this girl in the purple, yeah, I can't really tell in this picture. So let me bring the next one up real quick. Let me see if we can see it, because that's not a good picture to judge it with. Let me see if I can bring up the other one now. And then we can talk about that little video picture at the end too, because wow, when I saw that, I was like, okay, now that was just craziness. Okay, so let's bring us back in here and let's start the show. Okay, so I was right. So he's holding the gun. Okay, at least he got that part correct. He has a grip of the pistol grip.
The gun about bigger than him.
But his finger, I know. His finger is out of the trigger, which is a good thing. But he still has, like, there is no purposeful bracing of the gun. Like there is no support. Same thing with the young lady. That rifle is in her bicep, not in her shoulder, and it's pointing down. So again, that tells me, and I'm not going to assume that this couple or these two young couples haven't had like formal training or anything like that. But as far as perception of the picture, I believe that could be a pretty safe assumption. Let's go to the next one. Boom. Yeah. Okay. Now, believe it or not, the young lady in this mermaid looking dress here, she is actually okay, because I can see her fingers clearly outside the trigger guard, and she has it pointing in what we are hoping to be a safe direction. So either up or down to the side. In other words, she's not doing what Mr. Young looking Busta Rhymes is doing right there. Besides standing on her dress. Now that was one of the things that was, everybody seemed like they was more interested in him standing on her dress than
right.
than
He
the
got
image.
jeans on. Are they going to the prom? He got jeans on and he got a t-shirt on. He's supposed to be going to the prom.
She's
You
dressed
know,
to the nines, and
right.
he's just like right out the house. So
Stepping on her dress. But
yeah.
see, you know what? Not just us sitting here talking about this, and I don't want the audience to get this twisted either. We almost sound like some racist people, you know, talking about these black youngsters, you know.
God.
I think we critiquing it because we love our culture and we love our kids and we see what's happening in the community. And I think like how you led off, I don't think these probably not no bad kids, but they're emulating what they're seeing, and that's what we're tired of. We're tired of the constant, you know, bombarding of the same imagery over and over again in the rap, in the culture period, in the movies, in the media. You always, like you said, you couldn't just, you know, and I'm not trying to say that the picture with the white girls are better, but I would have no problem. See, look, is he pointing the gun at, you know, I would have no problem if they had just the gun cocked up, like, yeah, we got this, we ready, we know how to use this.
Or down.
Yeah, I wouldn't have
to
a
the
problem with
side.
that. So he got two guns in this one.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry. I to be honest with you, I wouldn't care if that was a white boy dressed with a three-piece suit on, with a bow tie to the nines, whatever. It's still, to me, promoting like sort of
The
like
wrong type of image.
Right, to me. I mean,
okay, but see, I would say this is like my little area where you almost hear like that stereotypical phrasing, to the untrained eye, you wouldn't understand, blah, blah, blah. But this is like, to the person that is looking at these pictures, using the senses of every day, you can tell clearly one picture gives the appearance of, at least, hey, we know what we are doing. You know, the other picture looks very unsafe. Like, I would honestly, I mean, anybody with a firearm that blemishes, anyone that blemishes a firearm, I'm going to be on alert anyway. It can be holstered. I mean, as long as I'm seeing it, you know, it puts you on alert, but at least, you know, it's there for you to see. So again, this is not about me beating up the young black couple in the purple and the young black couple in the peach or pink or whatever they had going on. I'm not just harping on them just having the firearm.
Right. I actually
but my thing was, if you're going to be taking imagery like this, at least have your firearms handled in a safe manner. And I don't care if it's a water gun, because you will have people to come through and try to, you know, break this. They weren't even real, they were replicas, all this stuff. Listen, in the military, we have this saying, you fight like you train. You train like you fight. Okay. So if you treat everything as if it's real, when you have the real thing, muscle memory kicks in, you automatically know safety is paramount. It's the first thing that comes to your head. So going back to that first picture where it says, well, if you don't have a problem with looking at this or something like that, and then you should have a problem looking at that. I don't disagree with that post. I don't. Because if you're going to find a problem with one, then you need to find a problem with it all. And if you don't find a problem with the top one, then you shouldn't find the problem with the bottom one. I agree, but to a certain degree, and that's because they are giving the image that they are not trained and or familiar with firearm safety, which goes into still that perpetuation of stereotypes that, you know, young violent Black people out here in the streets and, you know, mishandling the weapons and all this other stuff, when we have plenty of educated firearms instructors and all kinds of stuff going on, but that's not something that you're going to see people put in a positive light when it comes to our youth.
And then I think it gave it a different feel too, because the one at the top was all girls, and like you said, they was all, it was like you said, they was holding it almost like they were in the army or something, and it was, I got the feel of, it's sort of almost like a humorous thing, like, you know, you better watch yourself. We know, you know,
we
but
know
then
how to handle ourselves, right?
Yeah, when you add in the young men at the bottom, you know, and the way that they were pointing, and just a little sidebar for that. My son, he's into photography now. He does pictures for like sports and weddings sometimes, things like that. And I already talked to him about, you know, the fact of, I don't want him really doing rap videos because they have a tendency to point weapons, you know, while they're doing the video. And he said he also agreed with that. You know, he was like, yeah, I don't really feel safe doing, you know, videos like that, because everybody want to pull out weapons. Like every video you see nowadays, everybody pulling out weapons from everywhere, you know, teenagers, whatever, you know.
No, I feel that. So now we're going to shift gears a little bit, and we got about 10 minutes left. And so we will be making a part 2 of this show, because we got a lot to say. At least I do. I have a lot to say about this imagery here that we have pulled up. This young lady goes by the name of Glorilla. And I am not going to play this video. I'm leaving it up here, freeze frame, for everyone to take a really good look at what message this is sending. And she's out there, of course, you know. And one of the things that caught my attention, I didn't even have to play the video, is the young lady right here in the blue to her right.
She just as pregnant as she want to be.
That young lady looked like she's about to drop. And then within the video itself, you will see these other young women and everything, with babies with them, making the video.
Wow.
Drinking, partying. And the F and F, I'm not even going to tell you what that is, because I try to keep the shows at least somewhat filtered. So if you want to educate yourself on what they're talking about, just look this up and it will be right there for you, and you can play it and everything. And that's what we're going to be talking about in part 2, is what's happening.
You remember what the name of the song was?
Yeah, it's called Let's Go. LET''S Go. And it's by Glorilla. You can Google it, YouTube it, whatnot. I did watch the video because, like I said, I do, whenever I talk about things, I want to know what I'm talking about.
Right. And
And
it actually goes hand in hand with what we're talking about in the first part of this segment is talking about imagery and
imagery.
ratchetness that's being infiltrated and perpetrated amongst our young people.
Yeah.
And then you will say, well, they doing what they want to do. They doing what they, that's what they want to do. But like you said, it's just it's just disheartening sometimes when you see, especially when you look at that video. I would suggest everybody go look at that video. It's got some language in it, but when you see when you see what you're dealing with, and we as parents and grandparents, we need to know what our kids are being exposed to and what we're dealing with. You know what I'm saying? You don't need to be sugarcoated.
Right.
We need to know what they, so, and I'm sure people are gonna say, well, we had fun too. Like when we was in college.
Yeah, we love to give excuses and crutches when sometimes you just gotta call an all stop to things. I'll put it like that.
Mm-hmm.
And you gotta learn when to reset. You gotta learn to know when enough is enough. And that's basically what it boils down to.
Mm-hmm.
We are living in an age now to where it seems like everything and anything goes.
Mm-hmm.
And everything has and when I say everything, just the way that we even look at life. See, number one, America itself, the Western culture itself has always taken liberties way out of whack.
Way out.
Our liberties, our privileges, things that our youth take everything for granted.
Mm-hmm.
So this is what you get. This is what you get when you don't have guidance, when you got people that can't accept the word no, when you got people that don't want to deal with their convictions about different things. I mean, it gets deep, it gets bigger than what people even really want to realize, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't want to get too preachy. And I do want to be mindful of our viewers' time. So what we're going to do, if you got a last word for me, we're going to wrap part 1 up, and then we'll come back next week and we're going to give you part 2. We're going to pick up, and we will call this imagery, by the way, D. So,
right. And just as a closing remark for me, I wouldn't even want my daughter on her prom date to even be exposed to any kind of danger. You know what I'm saying?
mm-hmm.
I mean, even if that young man and her, even if they had gun training or whatever, I just don't. I like you said, I think I'm imposing my views at this point because there's another sector of society, like when you was talking about how we was raised, because I was raised a lot like you. It is another sector of society that's wasn't raised nothing like us. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
They don't see nothing wrong with that picture, those pictures, right. That probably praised it. I mean, because think about it, somebody had to set that whole scenario up. Somebody made that dress, somebody made those jeans, somebody made the shirt to go with it, somebody gave them the firearms. If they're not theirs, but they could be theirs, you know what I'm saying? Somebody took the pictures. I'm sure it was a big crowd around that saw it, and nobody said, "Wait a minute, why you got that around my daughter?
Right.
Why you pointing that gun at my son or whoever was taking the pictures?"
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, and like you said, we want to hear from y'all, man. Whatever y'all think, because we just two people, and we very open-minded, and We just telling you how we feel about it, you know. So
Mm.
yeah, y'all stay tuned for part 2 because we're gonna get into this.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir. Okay, guys, with that being said, again, that is Elephant Exposed. And we, like I said, we're going to name this show Imagery Part 1. So stand by for Imagery Part 2, Elephant Exposed. I am your host, CJ Jones. This is my co-host, Mr. Duane Stinson, and we are out of here.